Hello, guys. Welcome back to Leaders View, a podcast where curiosity meets leadership and ambition meets action. Brought to you by BM Class Leadership Organization. This is your front row seat to stories, secrets, principles, and laws that govern success and life. And I know you're going to sit back and watch this video to the end. Stay tuned.
At Leaders View, we share insightful knowledge on topics, issues, discussions, and trends. Leaders View is here to transform, is here to elevate, is here to enlighten, and is here to empower the way you view the world. And in today's episode of Leaders View, we are going to be talking on an important and decisive, crucial topic that affects every human on this earth. And that topic is before the beginning. So we should understand that there is a cosmetic blueprint for everything that works, everything that is built. There is something that happens before it is brought into existence. So before that invention you want to make, before that innovation, before that business you want to bring out, before that idea you want to bring out, there is something you need to do. And today we'll be understanding what should be done, what should be known, and what needs to happen before the beginning of everything. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
And yes, yeah, we are back again, but this time around with our guest. So I'll be making our little introduction from our guest. By my left hand side, is Miss Jane Francis. She is a leader, a transformational leader, and she's someone who aspires to transform and educate young people into leadership. And beside her is Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah is someone who is inspired to be someone that deals on human potentials and bring out that thing, that stuff, that feeling in you that will make you become who you are supposed to be.
And we also have our other guest. Beside me here is Miss Confidence. She's a global transformational leader who specializes on the mind. She's also an emotional intelligence coach. Give a round of applause. Woo! And beside her is Master David Namdi. He is a global transformational leader who focuses on spirituality. He is a global speaker. Please give him a round of applause.
And yes, we'll be moving into the question time, yes, because what's our podcast here for? Is to ask questions, bring out secrets from them, and then share to you guys, so you guys could use to relate to your lives as you're living. So I'll be moving the first question to Miss Deborah. Yes. So I'll be asking, what does the word blueprint mean in a cosmetic or universal sense?
Okay. The word blueprint means, if it's literally, he said it's in a cosmetic, in a cosmic or universal. So it means the original plan, God's original plan. It means detailed plan or strategy or guide. So I will explain it in this way. So imagine you want to build a house. You have to have a plan, right? And then the plan should have how the house will look like, where the rooms will be, where the windows will be, everything about the house, the structure, how this house will stand. That is called blueprint. It means that there is a way things should be. There is a way things should be. Even if it comes to success, when they say that there is a blueprint for success, it means that there is a guide for success. Even in science there is DNA. It means that the way things function, the way we are supposed to grow, function, reproduce is encoded in us. So even science, physics has DNA. Even the law of gravity in physics is like a DNA. It means that there is a way things function. Because the word cosmos actually means order. Okay. It means that the cosmos is in an arrangement, that everything in the cosmos is in arrangement, it is order. So everything is There is no random, it's not chaotic. Everything is how it's supposed to be. Even personally, there is a blueprint for us. The Bible says that in Jeremiah 1 verse 5, before you were formed in the womb, I knew thee. So it means that each and every one of us has a blueprint. There is a purpose for every one of us. So it means cosmic blueprint actually means the plan of the creator. The plan of the creator, what is in the mind of the creator that controls all creation and reality.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, to our global leader who focuses on spirituality. This question is a very, very good. Is one that people ask frequently in our world. So I will put it to you. So what are the spiritual, or let's put it in a broad aspect, what are the spiritual or moral values or truths that form the core of any lasting journey or any leadership path? So what are the core things, what are the core spiritual things that should form any powerful organization? What are those spiritual things that they should do to form for a very big businesses? What should they do spiritually to become and attain that?
Okay. You know, everything for your business or for anything that you want to, for anything you are building, you want it to last. It must start spiritually. And if you don't know how spiritual thing works, you will be driven away from the marketplace. Understand? So now, you are a Christian and you are building something that will last. You must first of all start spiritually. And how do you start spiritually? You will start spiritually first of all by, you have to understand that there is a quota, there is a sacrifice you must pay every day. There's a sacrifice you must pay. That's why most people are in the marketplace, they are failing, while others are succeeding. They don't know that those people are succeeding have a sacrifice they pay every day. So as a Christian you are and you want to make your business last, the sacrifice you will pay, they are not much, but it will only take consistent and persistent. Because for the fact you do it every day, you keep your business moving without it being overshadowed by any other person. So number one of them is, I will say, first of all, you must understand the power of prayer. But that's the only way you communicate with God, and prayer is the only place we what would they say, we change things. We go and manipulate things in the place of prayer. What I mean by manipulation, we change those things that are not. We make those things that are not as though they are. So in the place of prayer, you put your business in order how you want it to be, and that is the only place you communicate with God, because it's through Him that He keeps your business. So if you don't have communication with God, there is no way, or if you don't have communication with spiritual realms, there is no way your business can last, because we are in the world of men, and men are so wicked that all of them that does business goes a long way to make sure that business lasts. So for a business to last, if you are not with them, you will be against them. So you must understand the power of prayer. After prayer, you must understand fasting, because at least you fast once in a while. Even if it's once in a week, you fast. This is you consecrating yourself and handing your business over to God.
What does it do? What does fasting do?
Okay, in your business, you fasting once in a while is, that's another way we communicate with spiritual realms. So it's part of ways we keep our business moving. Then we also understand the power of positive talks. Positive talks. You have to understand the power of positive talks, because it's not that when your business is not going well today, you are speaking negative words. And words are spiritual. They are not just physical. As you speak your words, it forms your reality. So if your business are not going well today and you don't keep speaking positive words over your business, there will be a time your business will crash, because everything that comes out of you define what is inside you. So you must understand. But the core thing for you to keep your business moving as in spiritual realities is first of all through prayer, then through fasting. At least you must fast once in a while. Consecrate yourself and hand your business over to God. Then I have said positive thoughts. So I think when you follow these three things, your business will keep going well. Understand? Because in the marketplace, if you don't understand how things are being done, they'll kick you out. Understand? So we will understand. As a Christian, you can do business more than others, but if you don't pay the price, your own will not work. So there must be price must pay every day. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
So I'll be referring to the next question to Miss Confidence. Miss Deborah helped us in elaborating what the blueprint means and everything. So I want you to bring it down to our personal lives now, which is how does the mind relate to the blueprint of someone's life or someone's destiny?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. And how this is relating is that we all are being programmed, or we all have a self-map. We have something called self-map that directs our day-to-day activities, that tells us or is a featuring in image about how we are going to look like, the people we are going to become, and every other thing. So the blueprint in the sense is like a self-map to us that indicates our personality, our habits, our patterns over the years, with time, with everything, with all the discipline and the nurturing that we've been in depth when we were small. So how it's connected to us as individual, or how it is linking to our mindset, is because everything rises and falls in the mind, and everything was being originated from the mind through conception down to our environment, systems and structures, and the people around us. So all these things collaborate to form this thing called our self-map, which governs everything around us. And if you have a wrong self-map, there's chances that you will live a life that you don't love for yourself or anyone around you. So there has to be a thorough check of what you truly have, the knowledge, the belief systems you built over the years, what you like and dislike, the feelings you've cultivated over the years, the effect of negative thoughts, how you have been able to attract certain things and certain circumstances in your life. Most people are victims of whatever they are going through at this point in time, and they are asking, why is all this, why is all that, and they blame the government, they blame the system, they blame the religion, they say it's not working, but they don't know that all this is starting from them. The problem is from them, and until they understand that, they have to regenerate or reconfigure that mindset, things will not begin to align for them. So there has to be a change in mindset. And how does this come about? You have to go for knowledge, not just any knowledge, but superior knowledge, which this platform and this podcast was here and designed to give you. And then there are books that you're supposed to read. You're supposed to go for mentorship. Now the blueprint is easy said, but the blueprint is like an architect of a building. You know how the building will look like, you know the finish, the end point of this building. It's just for it to be structured down physically. Now when you have this mindset is like this map that guides you, that runs you throughout life history in any factor of your life. So I feel that these are the steps you have to go through, then you can be able to change that mindset.
Thank you very much.
So over to our leadership, our leader who is focused and geared on leadership. So now she talked about blueprint. The blueprint is like the architect work plan. So the blueprint is what makes or is the proposed building of that. So now there's something that is really controversial in our world today, and I want you to help us give us a perfect view on that. So why must leaders now? Why must leaders understand and follow a blueprint before building the systems or influence others through that system? So why is there a blueprint? Why? And why should I understand the blueprint? How should I get the blueprint? So that blueprint now that I'm working with, how how and why must leaders understand that blueprint before they understand what you know how to get it? So how must they get, understand, and follow that blueprint before building that thing they want to build?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, firstly, before you build a platform, or before any great leader build a platform, the leader has to understand one division, has to build himself. So when we talk about these blueprints, it's like the internal articles. What is it?
Article.
Ar-
Architect.
Architecture. So it's like the internal structure or the plan. So now, as a leader, before you, because there's this saying is you can't or you cannot give what you don't have. So now the blueprint there is about the inside, because leadership starts with self-leadership. Guys, before you can lead anybody, you should be able to lead yourself. Even the Bible says that before you remove the log from your neighbor's eye, firstly you remove it so you can be able to clearly see the log in your neighbor's eye. So I cannot just wake up one morning and tell you, Mr. Patrick, I want you to start meditating, I want you to be this, and I'm not doing that. And that's what a lot of our leaders do today. So they say what they did not do. There's this thing he said it's not just about knowing what to do, it's about doing what you know. You get. So there are a lot of leaders that they know what to do, but they are not doing it, and they expect other people to do it. It's because they've not yet what structure a pattern for themselves. If we let's look at the life of Jesus. Before Jesus came out, he stayed inside for 18 years, what? Building himself. Even Moses stayed in the desert, David stayed, they were in a secret place. So before you can just show up one time, it's just like building a skyscraper. You can't build a skyscraper on the sand. The foundation is what matters. Same with leadership. Like blueprint is just like the structure of your foundation. So your character, have you developed your character to a level that when you go to a nation, you can stand your ground, your integrity. When it comes to yours, because in leadership you must be what spiritual alignment. You must have, could I say, you must be aligned spiritually, because I was taught that you must move with the spirit for you to be able to, there's what they call wisdom, getting to know the truth, and you cannot know the truth unless you connect with the spirit. So in the secret place, what do you do? Do you just wake up one morning and say that, okay, I want to lead a nation? Do you have the capacity? Have you studied book? What's your mental capacity? Have you studied emotional intelligence? So these are the things you need to understand and work on before you can just set or you want to lead people. There are lots of people today that they just believe, okay, they slept or they had a dream or had a vision, okay, God said do this thing. They just went outside and start doing this thing without practicing. Okay, I know of somebody, let me not call the person name, but he wants to do the ministry. He has this calling since, but he has not started. Why? He's still trying to build his foundation. When the foundation is strong, nothing can change it, because if you don't build that foundation, when challenges come, storms come, it's going to, how will I say, it's going to, so that's why there are a lot of leaders, maybe even in marriages. Okay, let me relate this leadership now to do this thing. Now, when it comes to marriage, a lot of people just jump into, okay, you heard of a vision, I'm a young girl, and they say, okay, God said I need to get married. I don't know what it is. I've not studied my emotion. I don't know emotional intelligence. I've not built my character. I've not built my value. I don't know my purpose. And I just went outside. Oh, God said a man, she be a man, okay, gets married and everything. At the ending of the day, when challenges come, oh, it's not the man I wanted to marry, it's not this thing that divorce. Same with business. You have a company, you've not like put it, you don't know the vision, you don't know the purpose, or you just came out, started gathering people. They will not stand strong because the foundation is not strong. So anything you want to do, anything you want to start with, you start with the foundation. That is why it's very important as a leader. You stay in the secret place, because what matters most is the inside, because it's the unseen that
Controls
that controls the scene. So it's what you do in the secret A lot of great leaders, what they do, what they perform, 80% is in their secret place. They just show 20% of it. There are a lot of, even Elon Musk, he work hard inside. There are, if you study, they are just study great people. They do, that is when the blueprint, when it comes to leadership, understanding your value, understanding your purpose, developing your character. Now when it comes to how does this, one, spiritual alignment, two, mental capacity, your mindset. Then the next one is what? Emotional intelligence. If you don't know how to control your emotion, you can't control someone. Like you can't lead people. Because there's a level you reach, people will text you, but it takes, will I say, how will I put it? The hardness of, how will I put it? The hardness of a heartbeat, the hardness of a heart. Of a soldier.
Resilience.
Okay, now, okay, let me end with this. Before you can, before a tree bears fruits, you start with the roots, right? If the roots have to grow and it takes time. So you also need time to build this. When you have the vision of leading nation, you don't just stand up. You gain, this is what they call gaining momentum. You are training yourself, meditating, you are fasting, you are praying, you are reading books. Forget your mates. Don't say, oh, this person is doing this. One thing with leadership, we don't compare ourselves with other people. We compete with ourselves, trying to bring out the best, trying to make sure that, okay, my today is better than my yesterday. Okay, what did I do yesterday? Okay, what can I do to move forward? Because when I start competing with her, I've shifted from my purpose to start following, because everybody have their own purpose. So you can be great, I don't need to bother. The thing is, I'll just go, God, okay, who I am, who am I? Go back. That's what they say before the beginning. Before anything there, what is your identity? Who are you? You start building from there. So that's why I stop. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So I'll be giving this question to Miss Deborah. Yes. From the way the universe was designed, what have you learned, or what have you learned about how to build a lasting stuff, something that lasts? How can you build something that will last? Maybe a business, relationship, life, success, anything. How can I build something that lasts?
Okay, that's a beautiful question, because we all want to build something. And I can tell you that every sane person, anybody, any reasonable person, anybody that wants to be great, they want to outlive themselves. So, and that means building something that lasts. So when we talk of building something that lasts, anything you resist is actually effect. There is something that is powering it. Just like a car that is moving, there is an engine inside that is powering it. So if we look at the cosmos, we will see a lot of things that we can use to build something, anything that can last. Because the cosmos is actually one thing that has lasted, that it has lasted apart from God. We can say that the cosmos is another thing that has lasted even up to this moment. So one of the things that the very first thing is, like I talked about blueprints, is detailed plan. Detailed plan. The Bible says that who proposed in his heart to build a house and did not count the cost. Before you can even count the cost of any building, you must have a design of that building, how that building will look like, how many this and this and this. You cannot count the cost without having a blueprint or a design or something like that for that building. So the first thing is to have a detailed plan. What is the blueprint? What is the vision? What is the vision? What is the what do you have for that thing? So you must have a detailed plan. And then another thing is foundation. Foundation. So if you look at the house, now I have a plan for this house. Where do I start? Where do I start? It is the foundation that will start. So it must be foundation. There must be foundation before form. That is what the cosmos teaches us. Before the stars, before the planets, the galaxies, there was time, there was energy, there was even matter, there was space before all those things came. So there must be foundation. There must be foundation. If before they form, before that lasting thing can come, we must set the foundation. If the foundation is not strong, then it will fall. Like our leader here said, If the foundation is not strong, it will fall. So many people focus on the form. They focus on what we see outside. They do not focus on the inside, the developing part, the part where you build yourself, the part where you put in a lot of things, a lot of resources. You know that in building a house, that the foundation actually takes a lot, because it will determine if that house will stay for long or if it will collapse. I know a person that wants to build 3-story building, and the person actually did foundation of like 10-story building, and people were complaining. But do you know that if they build that house, although it will take a lot of resources, that house will, like, there is a high probability that it will last for years and years and years and years. It will not collapse. So foundation before form. Then another thing, if you look at the cosmos, you will see that anything that lasts is built on stages and cycles. So if we take the house as an example, because we are using the house, you see after the foundation, you see you start taking up the house, you get to a point that you start putting the lintel level, the windows, the decking, and everything before you start decorating and putting every other thing that needs to be in the house. So it is in stages and in cycle. Nothing that you want to build can start now and become a big stuff now. It is not possible. Anything that will last must pass through the test of time. So there is two things that I realized that time actually does. There might be other things. Time reveals and time refines. So anything that must last must go through that refining part, and it must be revealed by time. So it must pass through those stages and cycles. And then another thing is balance. You see, this seat that I'm sitting on is here, has lasted, and is carrying me now because it has balance. Without balance, it will not carry me, and it cannot last. If you see this seat now lose balance, it will start spoiling. I can sit on it and it will just scatter like that. So anything that you see that will last, anything will have balance. It will have balance. And another thing that people are actually ignoring as well is that the invisible governs the visible. Like my sister here said, it is the invisible that governs the visible. If before the planets we see, there is dark matter, there is time that governs, there is energy that governs these things. So the spiritual realm actually governs this physical realm. There is a realm of things that we do not see that is actually governing what we are seeing. And for you to build anything that lasts, you must understand that that is what governs this physical realm. And that means that I must build it there. And I must also be in alignment with that invisible realm to build something that will last in this visible realm. And finally, self-sustaining system lasts. So if you want to build anything that lasts, it means that you are putting systems in place. So God created the earth, and He's no longer creating so many things. He has put systems for regeneration, for building. When he said in, I think, Genesis chapter 1, I think verse 11, that when He talked about building the seeds, herbs, producing herbs, and tree growing and bearing fruit, in whose seed is in itself. So God put a system of reproduction in those fruits. So anything that must last must have self-sustaining system. So instead of just trying to survive, if it's business you're building or anything, you must build legacy. You must train others. If that thing must last and live beyond you, you must have trained others that must carry it on. So anything that will last will pass through this system. First, have a plan, have foundation, build in stages, know that there must be balance, know that the invisible controls the visible, and then have self-sustaining system. You will not always be there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Wait, if yeah, so to our men, now to our global transformational leader who focuses on spirituality. Now here is a question that is ringing in the hearts of many leaders. So now, many people rush into visibility, many people rush into social media platforms,
Yeah.
many people rush into success
Yeah.
without dealing with the before part. So we know the before part from what you explained, that it has to do with involving the spirit. into involving and communicating with the spirit. So now, those people who run into success, those people who run into visibility, those people who run into platforms, why is it dangerous that they don't go for the before?
Okay. You know, many people, the problem is that a lot of people are looking for quick things, understand? They want to show themselves. But you don't show yourself before. You don't go and show yourself first. You need to build inward first before coming outward. Because it is from the inward you are being displayed. But if you look at our society and everything happening, people want to showcase themselves. So social media is open. There's now what they call citizen journalism. So everybody wants to showcase themselves. Everybody wants to let people know what they are doing. That's why they say before you tell people your plan, you first of all make sure that plan has already been settled in you, inward. You make sure it has already been settled spiritually. You make sure you have built it in your mind. So you have to understand that people have to understand that before they showcase their business or whatever they're doing or in any platform or social media, they're supposed to make sure that it has ground spiritually. Or they must have already built it in their mind, because everything already is first in the mind. And if it has not been built in their mind, or if they have not built a strong foundation for it, and they showcase it on any platform of social media, there is a tendency that it will not last, because men don't like your progress. Understand? So for you to sustain that thing you are doing, don't show first. Build inward first before you show it outward. Thank you.
So thank you very much. And I'll be going to the very last question. Yes, and I'll be giving to Miss Confidence. Please, can you tell us what if you could take people back to just one thing that's before the beginning of the world? So what was that one foundation that you must return them to, and why would you return them to that?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Like you said if that one thing I will take people back to before the beginning is for them to understand their true identity in where they were being formed initially. So as Christians, which I'm speaking to as Christians, as believers, we are being made in the image and the likeness of God. And whatever thing, or at the end of everything, it still points down to Him. So your purpose, your becoming, your whatever thing you say you want to do on earth, the legacy you're leaving, is to still point out that personality, that character, that characteristics of His image in you to the world. So your coming in, your existence is still dependent on Him. And now you're coming in. What are you coming in to do with your purpose, with your value, to bring about impact, to bring about resolving, innovation, solution to things that may seem difficult. Like we are in the real world now. We are in a technology world whereby things are advancing, things are being opened up. If people like Thomas Edison and Edwin C. Barnes did not achieve what they were achieved, because back then they were seen as mockers, they were seen as illusioners, as dreamers, and they didn't internalize those things that they did, we will not be seeing most of the gadgets, we will not be seeing most of the invention we are seeing in our current world. That is to tell you that they've been able to make the world a more visualized and innovative world for you to bring in your ideas and see it work for you. So your existence or your impact should live not only about your legacy, but the things that you say you are doing, and you should also uplift the spirit or the image of God in you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And do you have anything to brief into the question I asked?
Okay, I
About
think
that one thing that you learned?
okay, it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing because we need to actually go back to our source. if there's one thing all the leaders or our young youths should have in mind, is that there's a source, which is what the infinite intelligence, God, our creator. My mentor said the manufacturer of all things. You get. So when a product or when I get a product and I don't know how, I don't know the ingredients, I need to go and ask the manufacturer some question. How does this work? And is it that is the manufacturer writes it in the manual, which is, for example, in Christianity, we have the Bible, we have this thing. So now there's this, they call it connection or let's say consistent reflection about who you are in Christ or who you are as a spirit being, as a spirit being. So now you need to, there are some questions you need to ask about yourself. So as a leader, why, what's my purpose on it? Yeah, because we need to understand the foundation. We need to understand the foundation. So it's just like going back to God, yes, going back to
Thank you very much. Miss, maybe you have anything to say?
It's that, well, that what said it all. It's before the beginning was. So even the Bible says, in the beginning, God. It means that God, he said, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So it means that God was the one that created heaven and earth. If he created heaven and earth in the beginning, it means he was before the beginning. So if there is one thing I want to take people back before the beginning, it is God. Because whatever sources a thing sustains that thing. And like we said, the cosmos thrives is based on order. And it means that the cosmos is not random. You and I, we are not random. There is a purpose for us. There is a reason why we are created. There is a reason for everything we see in the cosmos, for everything in the cosmos at all. And if I'm to know that purpose, if I'm to try in that purpose, it means that I have to go back to my source, like she said, a manufacturer. I have to go back to my source, know the reason why he created me. Because if I don't do this, I might be thriving in the wrong thing. And that is not fulfilling the purpose of the cosmos. So going back to God, go back to your source is the only thing that can sustain you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll be moving to the end of this episode. But before we move in, I hope you learned a lot when it comes to the cosmos and before the beginning. So, as usual, we'll be bringing out books for you to read based on cosmos and based on your mindset towards cosmos. Yes, because your mind reflects to the cosmetic things that you're seeing around you. So before, as she said, before the spirit, before the physical, there is a spirit. So that spirit is what? Your mind. So that's why we always refer you to the book, Refuge, Mind Mastery. We always refer it to the book Mind Mastery. And also we'll be bringing into another book, Beyond School. This book is basically for students and also for graduates. Yes, for graduates, students, youth, basically. Youth, basically, when it comes to them not knowing what is going on around their life, not knowing how to control the cosmos, not knowing how to think and how to acquire the things all around them. So this book is going to guide you step by step in all that you need. So there are two books, remember, Mind Mastery and Beyond School. So I hope to see you in the next episode. God bless you and have a nice evening.
Yeah,
Bye.
merci.